Hey you guys, Nathan back with a quick tutorial on PhotoScape X. This is just a quick overview of the quick tab in Edit. And over here in the Edit tab, you have this quick little main menu. And that's what we're going to be showing today, just how to manage it, how to look at it, and how to speed up your editing time in PhotoScape X. So without further ado, let's take a look at these about a dozen or so little tabs or buttons you're able to hit over here. So we have on this side, we have the favorites. And when you click over here to favorites, you're able to go down and, favorite certain editing tools that you like or you use a ton, which is really neat. Then you have this other one called Macros, which is a pro feature. So that's kind of unfortunate that people without the pro model can't really use this Macros feature very much. So we won't go too in depth in that. I have a video showing that already. Nonetheless, we have down here rotation, some ways to flip the photo. You have resize, crop, miniature, magic color, bloom, HDR. You have a quick menu, and then you have grayscale and a few other just kind of quick ways you can edit the photo as well. So let's begin at the top and we'll work our way down. So we have favorites. Now favorites is really neat because you can go to Control T and that pulls up favorites. It shows that right there, keyboard shortcut Control T. Nonetheless, what you're able to do is click Edit Favorites, and you're able to scroll down here, and anything in that Edit tab you should be able to go and select, and that's going to help you find stuff very quickly. So let's say you have a camera and you shoot in RAW and you need to be able to use that lens profile correction a ton. You can click and bring it in there so you can have that on your favorites instead of the time that it takes to go over here to the transform and find the lens correction tool. Or in some of these effects, there's just so many. If you find something that you really absolutely love, you can put it in that favorites and then you're able to get to it real quick. So just a 1 and then there you go. Also, what's interesting is that they give you a number value, so you could click and have this favorite things open and then just hit 4 and then automatically you're there. Or you could hit 2 and you're automatically there. So that's favorites. Next we have the Macros, and in the Pro feature, what Macros can do is you're able to do an edit on your photo, and then after you're done, you're like, wow, I want to be able to save that for the next photo that I edit, or down the line when I want to edit a photo in that certain way. You can go over here to Macros and you can say, oh yes, I want to add my quick border because I already edited it once one way. I hit save, then I can just hit quick border and I can click it, hit OK, and boom, you're done. And I didn't have to go into the frame and edit different things. It was just something that was able to be super quick and effective. So if your time is very valuable and you start doing certain repetitive tasks so many times it just tires you out, Macros can be a very helpful tool. Next you have rotate, so rotating 90 degrees, rotate 9 degrees back. That's helpful if you, for whatever reason, your camera might have said, oh, I'm going to shoot in portrait here when it was actually a landscape. So that's helpful. Then you have rotate. Now with this rotate, let me go back and hit this again. With this rotate, you're able to turn it in a certain direction, just like a small amount and things there. There also is a straighten feature as well that we'll take a look at. But this is if you were just going to rotate it, and you can put a background, a certain background on there if you want. There's a lot of different backgrounds and styles and different things to choose from. So if for like an artistic flair, you totally could do that if you were trying to get a certain look and feel. Nonetheless, I'm glad that it's in there just so you have more options. So if I hit OK, that's what it looks like as a result. So very interesting. Next you have over here straighten. This is one that might be really helpful for you if you wanted to straighten an image. If it was just a little crooked or something like that, you can use this straighten image to straighten it to just what you're looking for. And this grid is so helpful to be able to take a closer look at that. So very useful if you're trying to get things just straight, because then you can follow certain lines. Very helpful. So I'm glad that that's there in the straighten. Next you have flip horizontal. This will be kind of tough to see. So I'm going to put a different image in here. Here's me just holding up a product that I'm working on. Actually, I finished the review on this product if you wanted to check it out. Nonetheless, I can hit the flip horizontal, and then the image gets flipped to the other side. You can also flip vertical. But nonetheless, that's how you're able to flip an image. Works very well if you were, let's say, putting an image in like this, where it's a bicycle, and say, hey, I want the bicycle facing the other direction. And you say, oh, good, I don't have to, go retake that shot. I can just flip it, and there I am. It's now facing the other direction. Saves a lot of time, and of course, that straighten tool if you want to straighten that road out to just what you're looking to do. So we have that taken care of. You have the next, you have these tools in here, which is Resize. This helps you to be able to resize the image. So if you have to put it on a website or something very specific, you can say, oh, they only want 1,000 pixels by 1,000 pixels. Oh, good, I can type in that value there, and you're able to put that in. But I think that's something that's really neat. You're able to do it in inches. You're able to do it in centimeters, which is really nice. And over down here, you can say, oh, sharper for better reduction, nearest neighbor. So there's some different ways you could maybe have that resizing so it keeps the quality that you're wanting. Nonetheless, it's really nice to be able to put that feature in, just because there's sometimes where you're like, oh, rats, I shot it, it's too big, or sometimes it's too small, but it's really helpful to preserve plenty of detail in there and still get a nice quality image that you can use wherever you need. So you have that resize feature. Next, you can go over here to crop. It's really nice here because you're able to go down here and select whatever ratio that you're wanting, whether it's 3:5. You're able to just go in there and you just hit enter to confirm that crop. But that, I think, is a very simple way of doing it. I've seen other ways where you have to write in the value and things. Not the best. You have a circle crop, you can do that, which is neat. And then you have perspective crop, which I think is pretty interesting in my personal opinion. Nonetheless, if you wanted to crop it in a certain way, you totally can. There's a lot of different options in there. Next, you have the miniature. And the miniature, it's going to help you do a few different things. So like in this case, it's going to blur objects that are outside of the circle, outside of what you're trying to keep. And I think it's pretty interesting. You can do it on a kind of a gradient. This is kind of a tough image to show this on. Maybe something like this. But on this miniature, what I can do is, okay, so it's doing kind of a blur or something on here where the bottom's now in focus, but the top's blurred out. You can kind of turn this to be wherever you want it to be. But yeah, it's interesting. So like, let's say you wanted to keep one side super sharp, but on the other side you were going to like put text or something and you wanted it to really stand out. You can do that. You also have this linear look where you can get it from both sides, where you can say, oh, I want this, just kind of like, just this part I want. I don't know. It's an interesting thing. Nonetheless, I'm glad that it's there. It helps to be able to bring focus to a certain part of an image. So let's say if it's all about the product. Oh yeah, there you go. All about the product, and then I'm blurred out of the image. So it's interesting how you can do different things like that, but it's right there in that quick menu. I don't use that as a ton like the others. What else you can do is magic color. You can do this and it will automatically try to enhance your image. Sometimes it'll look good, sometimes it won't, but nonetheless, I think it's really helpful to be able to have that contrast between just what you got straight out of your camera to what does a quick kind of filter on it look like. So very helpful. You have bloom, and bloom, that's going to kind of like a glamour filter or something like that, but you can like change the levels, you can change the amount of blur, you can change the contrast there. You can hit a mask and like have it only apply to a certain part of the image, like your face. But that's kind of like to brighten up, to like really make a part of the image pop. So I think that's really interesting, but kind of that beauty filter type of a thing. Next, you have HDR. This is just like that magic color, but HDR is going to try to balance out all the colors of the picture and try to make it look appealing. It's just a different approach to automatic color and auto filter. So that's HDR in there, and you can of course change the amounts. You can change what it's doing. Sometimes you can make it look really good, really interesting. But there's also like some different presets over here too. So like 100% of this and 80% of that, and 10% of this, and I don't know. Sometimes it can end up looking really nice. Other times it can get kind of weird if you mess with the settings too much. But you can always go back to what the normal default setting is. All right, moving on to what's kind of the chunk, kind of the big part of this video is that quick menu. When you click into it, it's kind of aggressive with all of what it shows you. It's right down here, the quick menu. It has these 3 lines. You click it, and what you have in here is different things like resizing to a certain level, a certain pixel size. You can do a certain crop really quickly. You can do an auto color, low, medium, high, auto contrast. You can do a vibrance. You can do a brighten, sharpen, all this stuff. But basically, let's say if you knew exactly what you wanted to do and you said, wow, this image is too bright or something, and you want to darken it, I can go to quick menu. I can go over here to darken. I can say medium darken, and you're done. Very quick, very easy, something where you didn't have to hop into color and like bring the darken slider up or things like that. It's just a real neat thing to be able to have. So much customizability, like, oh, soft skin 5. Ooh, that really makes my skin look real soft and, less detail and everything. So there's that quick menu in here, but take a look at it. If it says, oh, crop 1:2, that just automatically crops it. Like, it doesn't really give you any options. It's just like crop. Okay, cool. It's like if you just knew exactly what you wanted to do and you just hit it. So, it's what you guys think, and if you can make use of it. Nonetheless, it's there. I really like the fact that they give you that option. Next, you just have these 5 different quick color filters, grayscale, and I like that they put this in here, because let's say you had an image and you're like, man, maybe that looks good as a grayscale. You can just click it and see what it looks like, or you can go back and say, oh, what does it look, sepia? Okay, interesting. And when I'm hitting back here or undo, I'm just hitting Control Z as my hotkey. Next, I got this Bando code. I don't know, interesting. Nonetheless, just another filter there, and then you have black and white as well. And then you have negative, which is reversing the colors, putting it on the opposite side of the color wheel for each of your colors. Very interesting. Nonetheless, all helpful tools in here, but that was the quick menu in the edit tab of PhotoScape X. You guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this helped you and helps to speed up your process when you're editing photos. What I would really encourage you guys to do is definitely get to use this a lot and check out the favorites, because that can save you a lot of time from hunting and digging around for just certain tabs that are kind of just hidden in all of these tabs here in PhotoScape X. So nonetheless, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like and comment down below if you have any questions, and feel free to subscribe so you get updated each time I make another one of these tutorial videos in the world of photo editing. Thanks, you guys. Bye.